Tell your children not to walk my way. Tell your children not to hear my words, what they mean, what they say, mother.
Well, hello all, and we are back after 2 weeks of not talking about WWE, which I'm sure made Martine super happy. We'll talk about it a little bit though. We were here primarily to talk about AEW All Out, which was last weekend. Pretty great show, if I must say so myself. But yeah, how is everybody?
All right. We have got a little cold front with a hurricane rolling in. You know, logical happens.
Logical happen.
Yeah, I agree. It was a great show. After a really great show in All In, to get one, you know, the fact that it wasn't back-to-back weekends, I think it helped in this regard. And I also think the fact that they didn't overload the show with matches helped as well. That was a damn good show, honestly.
Yes.
Yeah, I thought it was their second best pay-per-view of the year. So.
It was different. It was different from All In, which was good. So just in feel and everything else.
Do you just want to get out the gate rolling with All Out?
Let's go. That's
all right.
Yeah. Go.
We opened with Daniel Garcia versus MJF.
Oh no! Anybody watch the pre-show?
No,
I did not.
I didn't watch it.
No. I mean, I
don't. I heard it wasn't that great.
It was a lot. It was way too many. Like they should have had like 1 6-man and like they normally do. It was so weird, right. Just throwing everybody on like they did with All In. It made sense to try to get everybody on the show. You don't need to do that here. So I don't know why we had.
Normally the buy-ins or 0 hours are really fun, but again, I saw the card. I'm like, I'll be okay.
Yeah. Okay. So
we opened with MJF versus Daniel Garcia. I thought this was an excellent match. I did not mind the finish. I know a lot of people did.
I did,
but I liked the match. I liked the post-match. Daniel Garcia coming out on top. He did not win the battle, but he won the war. The MJF is going off to do some show. What's he
doing? Something. If he was leaving, that's my thing. If he's leaving, then he should have lost. Not weird. I'm not taking a pin that I'm going to look at.
But they also said,
you know why? Like that was right because they said that
Garcia
hasn't officially signed, so they don't want him to beat MJF and then just show up in NXT. You know what I mean?
Who said this?
A lot of people. He hasn't signed officially.
First time I heard it was Alvarez and Meltzer.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Then why would you even
on the VOW instant recap? Like he said that too.
Then that's dumb the other way. If he hasn't signed, then
you mean the fact that he took out Max at the end?
Yeah, that's dumb.
I don't know, man. I feel like I don't know these people, obviously, but you feel like Garcia will be one of those guys would be like, "Hey, man, I'm gonna be leaving." So like, you know, if they came in here to say he was gonna put over Max, granted, maybe not. Maybe that's a big win to be over MJF going out of the company, but I feel like he would be one of those guys who would kind of give them a heads up if he was leaving, so they would know which way they should properly book him.
Maybe that's true. I don't know. If I am someone who is featured in AEW, I don't know why you would want to go. I don't care if NXT is going to be on whatever it's going to be on. Why would you want to go to NXT? Why would you want to go to NXT? That's just like, even if you're going to be the king of NXT, that's a downgrade.
I have no comment.
To some people, it's not.
Well, how would it be an upgrade?
WWE.
You get in front of more people, and it's in the WWE ecosystem.
Whatever. Especially if you're small, it's not good. Like WWE is still a big. The people there are big, and when you're small, it's gonna look. You're gonna look really small. So,
someone had some figures talking about Wardlow potentially going to WWE.
Good.
And just talking about,
Good.
well, they were saying like, you would think he would be a monster going there. And then they just started to name like 10 people who were bigger in size
that you wouldn't even think so.
Than Wardlow. And not even like the Braun Strowmans and all that. It was like Orton is taller than them and Gunther. And it's just like, damn, like just never looked at it like that, honestly.
Well, I mean, look at Adam Cole, right? Like Adam Cole was definitely much bigger when he was in WWE, and then he like slimmed down for whatever reason. And you can tell the difference. So that tells you, and he was really small in WWE, so that should tell you something. So
does he fit in anything current going on right now? Like I feel like he would be back somewhat soon.
I don't know.
Like, where would they put him?
They act like his injury was really bad and he might not be back. I don't know. I would bring him back, and honestly, I would do a rehab push. Basically, have him kind of start at the bottom, find someone that he wants to feud with that's not like that's maybe in the mid card, and then go from there. Because I think he's so cold that you can't just throw him in. So, but
I don't need Adam Cole, man. I don't need him
back eventually. So.
I
don't know. You think about all these guys who are out. Like, what are they going to do? Adam Cole, Kenny Omega, Adam Copeland. Like,
I mean,
a lot of fucking people.
I think when Kenny comes back, I think they're going to probably match him up in some way with Hangman in some way, or the Bucks. It's going to be something of that. And then, I mean, when Copeland comes back, I mean, surely they're going to put him back with Christian, and we'll get that tag match we were supposed to get. So
why not put Kenny in the mix with Okada and Takeshita for that title and all that? That's what I would do.
You just complained. We're gonna get to it.
No, I'm still gonna complain, but
you just complained about because you're gonna get that. You're not gonna get like their knee-jerk reaction is gonna be, let's do a three-way. And
that's not what I meant though. That's not.
That's what their knee-jerk reaction is gonna be. Oh, we have these three guys. It's a three-way feud. We're just going to put them in a three-way. And I don't. See, you can't.
Omega, Cody, and Ibushi.
There you go.
Oh, Jesus.
I try to tell people.
Well, after that, because we're great at staying on topic, we had.
We're just talking.
I'm well aware. We had Young Bucks versus the BCC, at least as of this time. But was still the BCC. Thought it was a solid Young Bucks pay-per-view match. Can't ever go wrong with it.
They needed it. They 100% needed that.
I don't know. Was it that much better than what they've been doing?
I thought it was better. I thought it was better than a lot of the stuff they've been doing lately. Still the Young Bucks, man. It's just, this gimmick. This gimmick, man.
They lost their aura when the Bucks were kind of cool with their gear matching their sneakers. Like, the fact that even though they still wear sneakers, they took that aura away from them, and they just, I don't know, they don't have anything when they're out there with their little vest on, and Nick's got his big forehead out and about with the stupid mustache. I don't know. I don't like the look and feel of this gimmick that they have. I don't mind the gimmick, but the look and feel, man, too. But it was a great match, though.
Yeah, I feel like it's kind of ran its course, man. Like this whole.
They definitely need to, like, I will say this. I think they probably need that Christian and Copeland feud. I think that's what they want to do. And I think everything else, it's just kind of like, it feels like not them going through the motions, but as much as they go through the motions, if that makes any sort of sense. Like, there's nothing for them to really to sink their teeth into either. So.
Well, we'll see.
They've gone through every tag team. So I get it.
I was gonna say they got the tag team casino gauntlet match tomorrow. So we'll see if they could potentially refresh that division up with whomever wins, whoever they bring in. I'm excited for that match. It's gonna be fun.
Is Pac Will Ospreay next? That was what was next, right?
What? Pac and Will Ospreay.
Will Ospreay.
Mm-hmm.
there are not enough superlatives to throw out for Will Ospreay matches, other than Will Ospreay had another match on the AEW pay-per-view. It's a match of your contender, one of the best matches you will ever see. I mean,
Pac reminding you that he's Pac. I mean,
yeah. I was gonna say that. A lot of people. I said this in the Discord. I know y'all probably was like, "What the hell is he talking about?" I was like, that reminded me of 2009 Pac because he's still great. Like, don't get me wrong, he's still great, but he does not work the same. Like the babyface in Dragon Gate Pac, he doesn't work like he does now. It's like a totally different vibe. But he went out there and he just basically had the 2009 version of Pac versus Will Ospreay at his peak. And I loved Excalibur on commentary bringing up how Jody Fleisch, then it was Pac, and then it was Will Ospreay. Like, that would have been cool. The only thing that would have made that really cool, I don't know where he's at now, but if like Jody Fleisch was like somewhere out there or something like that. I thought that was cool. Like, I really appreciated that from Excalibur. I love this match, man. I fucking love this match.
They did shit that only I think the two of them currently would be able. Well, maybe and Ricochet. Maybe
I'm about to say they got another guy there that can do a lot of that stuff too.
But they were doing like some of the reversals. A lot of the reversals they were doing off of high spots was just crazy ass shit. So yeah.
All right, so that's the first time they did the reverse Rana into Will landed on his feet. Don't do it every match, Will. Remember, he was doing that over and over again.
He's your fan.
Don't do it every match, man. But yeah, that match was phenomenal. It was incredible.
I got another hot take.
What's up?
Not a hot take, it's just my opinion. I feel like that's another match from Will Ospreay this year that I don't think it was technically as good in the ring, but I enjoyed it more than the Danielson match. Like, I don't like between again. It's just me. It's just me in my opinion.
Brandon, you hate it. You hate that match.
I don't hate it. I enjoyed it, but people were talking about the greatest match of all time, and I don't look at it like that. And again, I've had matches between the Takeshita match, the Swerve match, and then we have the Pac match that I enjoyed more than the Danielson match. But that's still a great match. I don't think about the match. I think about those other ones more.
Splitting hairs, man. We're splitting hairs.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's a bad match or anything at all, but
yeah, that match is fucking amazing, man. I love that Pac does the Sky Twister press, then Will does the Sky Twister press, and then they had that moment where it's like, oh, okay, we're about as good as each other, huh? We're really gonna do this. And then people that say Will Ospreay tells no stories. The story of the match was his back and his neck. Because Pac's go-to, or Pac,
those are people that are doing Will Ospreay narratives from 5 years.
Yeah, well, yeah. Every time he has a great match, we got to talk about it. Right? We got to talk about what he used to be in 2016. But no, I loved how the story was the reverse Rana and Will's neck. Like, that was the story.
Yes, Sean, I agree. Everyone yelling Styles Clash when Ospreay went for the Styles Clash was really cool.
Yeah,
people are starting to see it. They're starting to see it ahead of time, which is cool.
That was awesome, man. Fucking phenomenal. I thought that the only like small nitpick I had was the spot where Will lands on his feet after the reverse Rana and he hits the hidden blade should have been the finish.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so, but I enjoyed it went maybe like another 45 seconds or so, and I still enjoyed that little stretch there.
I said small nitpick.
Well, then you had what normally would be a death spot, but two ladies decided to have a death match in the death spot with Willow Nightingale and Chris Statlander.
Yes, the death spot, huh? Chase, the death, yeah.
The death spot doesn't exist.
That will come into play later on in the show for me. But
rubbed his hands together like Birdman. What the?
I thought this was the best match on the show. Just me. I thought it's the greatest women's match in AEW history. And let's get even hotter. Y'all ready? I think it's the greatest Americans women's match of all time. Period. Barring nothing. Barring nothing.
What would you put that's close to that?
The only thing that I would argue, there are two matches I would argue. Rhea Ripley and Charlotte from WrestleMania a couple years ago, and TakeOver Brooklyn. That's it. Mm-hmm. But to me, this is better than both. Those ladies were able to follow Pac and Ospreay having one of the best matches of the year, a match that most people would die a death after, and the crowd was every bit as into that as they were that. Like the way they timed all of the hot spots was so perfect. The way the violence progressed when Willow just randomly grabbed that light tube cluster and just hit it was so well done.
It wasn't even before that when Stat went for the suplex onto the trash can and just completely missed it. So she just took the back bump on the stage, and then she came out with that light tube and busted her over the head. And the next thing you know, they're going through tables off the stage to the floor. That shit was insane, man.
Everything was planned out perfectly. Mm-hmm. Every single spot was like they didn't waste time getting to the next thing, and they kept the crowd guessing the whole time. The only thing that keeps this from being like 5-star perfect is the spot with the fucking chain at the end.
Just took too long.
And it wasn't terrible. It just took a bit too long. It wasn't terrible though.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, man,
help me, Paul. I need this.
Yeah. But they played it off well because like Stat was like, "Help me, goddammit!" Like almost like she threatened him. You know what I mean? Instead of her actually like we saw like if you to the untrained eye because my girl didn't really notice what was going on. It looked like she was just threatening the referee instead of her struggling with the chain. It was good. It was good. And then they kept hitting each other. They stayed on each other. They didn't just posture and wait. See, two less skilled workers would just like panic in that situation and, just complete the time would stop. But they were fucking up, but they matched it well because they're two phenomenal pro wrestlers. And fucking Willow is one of the 5 best brawlers on the entire planet. I love that match, man. I fucking love that match. Incredible.
How much is that your love for Willow and not actually are you being
the match? No, I don't care who it was. Like the match.
I'm just asking. I mean,
I'm also a fan too. At the end of the day, obviously, but I love Pac and Will Ospreay also. So, I love that match though, man. I was so pleasantly surprised.
Do you think? And people have talked about this, and I think we've talked about it too, that the women need to be, instead of trying to be like 90s All Japan women with a lot of high spots, it needs to be more of them just brawling and hitting each other hard and like more of the hard, like that's the one thing that like the men's division doesn't always do as much. Do you think that would help? And every time they do that, and with the women, even the women who are not supposed to be very good, these matches deliver way higher than they have any right to. You think that would be a better thing for the women to do, is to basically have Dustin Rhodes is like dream wrestling promotion. Take the hook and say, all right, let Dustin do whatever he wants with the women. You think that would be, because I'm sure that's what he would want, is just, bloody, let's just do not technical wrestling, let's just do old-fashioned, just brawling type of stuff.
They all are great at it, man. They all all
even
want to do
the bad ones are good. It's weird. It's so weird.
Fucking
like that Rampage one from
I was just gonna bring that up.
I don't think it was a great match, but I still enjoyed it. You know what I mean? Like They had really strong effort, those girls out there.
And it's never bad. Like it's never like, it's not like when you see like the NXT stuff and they're doing that stuff and it looks just so like choreographed and fake and all of this stuff. Like they're out there and they're like, hey, we're being able to do this. So let's have fun with it. And let's really do this. I think that might be part of it too, that they're not scared of like not doing, not being the pretty, hey, we're the pretty girls, we're not supposed to do this stuff. And they're just like, hey, let's go out there and let's do this stuff that we're not necessarily supposed to be. So
makes them stand out versus other major league girls out there.
Yeah, it's another example of this is why I'm hard on AEW. It's another example of them doing what nobody else in America can do. Hell, maybe nobody else in the world. There aren't many places in the world that are letting women do this at all around all of pro wrestling. It's so unique. And
they're good at it. It's not like, that's the thing. Like NXT does all sorts of weird, crazy shit with the women, but it's all like, comedy plunder and, it's WWE plunder. It's not. There's
no hate. There's
right.
no hate. There's no like. This match was
no
barbaric, man.
There's no
like
aggression.
she took a chain and wrapped it around Willow's face. Like, you don't see women do that. You don't see that. Yeah, man.
Right.
They were way more brutal than fucking CM Punk and Drew McIntyre. You know what I mean? When they were supposed to, they had the match that those two were supposed to have, man. And I would argue that their issue is way more like, intense and supposed to be than Stat and Willow's. All Stat did was turn on Willow. Fucking Drew McIntyre been beating the shit out this man, insulting his family, and all sorts of shit. And then they argue over a bracelet for fucking 20 minutes. Like, what are we doing?
And then do a typical WWE strap match.
Yeah, yes. We're going to talk shit about the WWE, and it will get worse later. So anybody that's in the chat, don't do that. Like, it's coming.
We don't have anybody in the chat.
After this show, after one of the best American shows of the year, I'm going to talk about the company that has not put on anything even close to the show that I watched on fucking Saturday. That's what's going to happen. You know why? Because they're the worldwide leader. That's why. Yeah, I talked a little bit about it in Discord. It's coming. It's coming now. I'm sorry. I talked a little bit about it in the Discord. Like, I give the same example that I used. I love fighting games. And one of the things about fighting games is that there's universal language that is used in fighting games because of the leader, which is Street Fighter. The concept of a dragon punch, the concept
down
of a
for
DP
a punch
is that we all call it a dragon punch. No matter the game you're playing, we all call it that. The WWE is so corny that they have turned the lexicon of pro wrestling, and the way pro wrestling is perceived to everyone is so WWE oriented. Triple threat matches, fatal four-way matches. Where is the story? Let's have an invisible camera. The same backstage interviews, just the same stuff. That anytime anything is different, it is deemed bad. This pay-per-view was criticized so much, and we'll get more into it when we talk about the main event, for how violent and how intense some of these matches were, because that other company doesn't do that. Well, newsflash, we're watching fake fighting. The point of the fake fighting is for the fake fighting to be compelling. If two people hate each other, I would imagine that they would get violent. What are we doing here? What are we doing? Yes, thumbtacks. Yes, trash cans. You know what happens on the street? When you actually fight somebody,
you grab shit.
You grab shit.
You grab
shit. So what's the problem? We'll talk more about it later, but that's
we will, because I've got my little take on it too, we'll get there.
Well, then we had the Continental four-way between Mark Briscoe, Orange Cassidy.
Oh God! I thought I was done.
Takeshita and Kazuchika Okada. I thought this is a very fun match. Solid.
It was very fun. It was solid. But
it was very reminiscent of Godzilla 2014. Have you ever seen that film?
Yeah,
that's a good.
Where it keeps teasing you with what you want, but you don't
exactly.
get it.
That was good. No, man, it's annoying, bro. You can finally do Takeshita and Okada.
Maybe they're getting to it.
Then just do Orange Cassidy versus Okada. Just do Okada versus Mark Briscoe. Don't put Takeshita in there and dangle this shit in my face. That's something the WWE does. How many times do we see multi-man matches in the WWE and the crowd just don't care? And then you see the match that people actually want get the react. They did the same thing. Be different.
But
man.
isn't it they're teasing you to give you what you want, and they're gonna eventually get you to that point. So now the anticipation is gonna be even higher. Wouldn't you see that way?
Tell the story different from that other place then. Why do that?
I agree. I don't want to see a four-way. I don't want to see a four-way. That's fine.
Why do it?
That's fine. I agree with that. But as far as the fact that they're in the match, like, again, I don't think there's a bad thing with wanting to build up to that point. It doesn't need to be on this particular show right here. It's eventually going to come. If it doesn't come, then I'm going to be pissed off. But I do think it's going to eventually come.
Yeah, my thing is if this was
understand,
but I feel like I want to see as far as the Continental Championship. I feel like it should have been a 1-on-1 defense for sure. Like I agree with you on that.
That's the rules of the title, right? Isn't that the rules?
I mean, this was very
it's pro wrestling.
Here's the thing: you're right. Everything about this match right now, and everything about what you just said, is very WWE. The difference would be WWE would do this match. We would get, like you said, they would tease the match that people actually wanted, but then they would never do it for whatever reason that they didn't want to do it. They were like, oh, well, we already gave you that. We gave you that in the 4-way. We're not going to do that right now. Or if we do, we're going to make you wait a long
or it's
time.
not going to deliver like you want it to.
Right.
And I think that Okada versus Takeshita will deliver once we get to it.
So, but I agree with, I don't want any more multi-man matches, multi-person matches in AEW. I think there needs to be a sign in the back saying we will not do this, because at least for a while.
And at least it actually,
or at least for this championship, you shouldn't do it.
Right.
If you want to do a 4-way on Rampage with a bunch of dudes just going out and do stuff, that's cool. But when you have some importance to the match, like a championship, then we shouldn't get that.
Or if you hey, we're going to do a number 1 contenders match and we're going to take the top 4 people, we're going to do a 4. I'm fine with that. But on these pay-per-views, I really feel like we don't need that. The pay-per-view shouldn't be about let's put as many people on the show as possible. That to me is more of a TV thing. So you can do, just like Brandon just said, you can do that on TV, and I think that's fine. I think everyone's fine with that, because they're set up in a way that they do work better on TV. So yeah.
Also, she's gonna catch a stray, but she has to. So Okada, I think we all can admit, right? I think we all can agree that this Okada run has been kind of disappointing, but at the same time, he's still over as shit. You know why? Because Okada is actually good at what he does. Just throwing that out there.
Well, and he does
actually good at it.
You see glimpses. You see glimpses of like when they do the Rainmaker spot, and instead of him doing the pose, he just flicks off the camera.
Because he's awesome. That's my point, Josh. Because he's awesome at it.
And he's probably at a point where if he doesn't have to go out there and kill himself, and he just has to do that type of stuff, more power to him.
I don't love that.
And he has real charisma. He has actual charisma. That coin drops. And just his physical charisma, crowd goes crazy. Crowd loses their shit. The bitch thing, although he's like a comedy character now, is fucking over. Because Okada is actually great at the stuff that isn't between the bells. Unlike somebody who was really exposed on this show for not being great at the stuff that doesn't involve the bell ringing. Like I told you, motherfuckers, when this person first signed. I just want
the next match. Why don't you just
go?
I
want this entire chat to light up with Marquine was right. That's all I want to see. Marquine was right all through this chat. Because I was, and you motherfuckers told me I was being mean. This is the second straight show. The better worker. This is the next match, right, Chase? Let's do it, right?
The next match is I have to say something, is that I did not watch this show live. I watched it the next day, and this match bored me so much I fast forwarded through it. And this is Hikaru Shida versus Mercedes Mone.
I'm just saying. Look at it. We can we all like I said, can we all agree Okada has been disappointing?
Yeah.
Can we all agree? But he's still over.
That.
I'm talking. Is this what you wanted from Okada, Chase?
Disappointing.
The Fletcher match was really good.
Well, he's gonna have great matches, but what his presence is, where
everything else.
Yeah,
it's not what you expected Okada to be, Chase. That's a lie. Don't sit here and lie on this show. No. You know you didn't expect Okada to be this. Don't do that. But no, seriously. Like, take Mercedes, right? They give her so much time on TV. They give her complete control of this character. She goes out there, she cuts these horrible WWE style promos. In terms of what she's done in AEW, the Sasha Banks name does not have the cachet that they thought it did because everybody gave her the benefit of the doubt. That's all people did. Now it's at the point where you got to show me something. And look, Hikaru Shida does not get off the hook here because she's also, much as I like her, as much as I used to like her work, she is also very overrated. You know what I mean? Like she's a good worker, but she's rarely a great one. You know what I mean? And all I heard was that fucking Britt Baker is the reason because she's so bad that match had no heat.
Nobody said
but
that.
now you in there with
Nobody
a lot of
that.
people. Josh, a lot of people said that. Josh, get on Twitter, man, and all these people are telling you
about Britt Baker. She's buried 6 feet deep.
All I heard is that they buried her, man, and she.
I mean, she should have been buried, but to me, you got to blame both of them because.
But they weren't doing that, Josh. They weren't doing that.
But you're going off of Twitter. You're going off of X. You're going off the fucking, like I told Dan, because Dan was
they love Sasha Banks, man, and I like Sasha Banks. But now we have to be honest here. Ibu, if you listen to the Voices of Wrestling not instant reaction, they had Ibu from Wrestle Purist on there. He was fucking amazing. But he said what I said without being mean. Like he basically said, like at this point, she has to have great matches because that's why you signed her, right? For all intents and purposes, she's supposed to be the greatest American-born female wrestler of all time. And I would still even give her that. I'd still even give just for her body of work in the WWE. I still give her that. But at this point, she's not even doing that anymore. And maybe part of it is the injury. Maybe. But all of the other stuff has been highlighted so much now because she doesn't wrestle all the time. They give her a bunch of TV time. They give her a bunch of promo time. And at the end of the day, the fans just don't care. She comes out there, none of it, no CEO chants, none of that stuff. Just silence. Just silence every time she does anything.
Plays, I hear him every time the music plays.
You can hear it just fine. And it's supposed to be chanting. It's so weird, man. Nobody cares. Nobody cares.
How much of it?
I was right.
How much of that is she's being too much of a WWE character instead of being something that's
it doesn't matter why, Josh.
It doesn't matter why.
No, I don't think that's a WWE character. I think that's kind of just who she is. Like,
but
like you watch her like outside of wrestling, like she still kind of, well, not be as flamboyant. She still kind of acts the way she does on TV. I just think that's who she is.
I was just saying, and I'm not defending her. Man. I'm just saying how much of that is she needs to be like, hey, this isn't working. We need to try something else. That's what I'm saying.
Because she thinks it is working, John. That's my point. She thinks this is working. She that's the only explanation I have. She has to. That's why she's no different. She has to.
Now I will say, and I said this on the Discord, and I will say this. I think it's very clear her being in the division has helped the division as far as how the division is being presented.
Because they invested so much money in her.
I understand, but let me finish. And I think it's more than that, though, because I think even the stories are better than they were before. Like we would get, like, even when the division was like, it looked like it was going to be something, we would get maybe one or two people deep as far as stories and as far as like feuds and stuff. This whole division is pretty deep as far as like feuds and stories and that sort of thing. And I think, I'm not saying it's because of her. I'm saying it's because of her and probably more to do with her.
Because of her.
Well, but
probably Peppermint.
Peppermint.
I mean, yeah. I'm saying the emphasis of her coming in, you bring in Jen Peppermint, which means you're gonna have to put in more focus on the division.
I'll give her props. That lady, if this is why I think that lady has been a net positive, but the thing that brought her in has not been.
And I agree. I'm just saying that because I agree with you. I think she is not, and I was someone that was excited for her to coming in because I thought she would be much better than this. Maybe they need to like have a series and be like, hey, who is someone we can put her with that might, like, I don't know, change something. I don't know who it is other than Willow, because that will get a reaction. Just might not be the reaction she wants, but you at least something you can play off of.
They did that.
They already did Willow.
Right.
They already did
Yeah,
it.
but
And you know who the fans reacted to? Willow.
Willow.
That's
what
what
I'm
they reacted
saying
to.
is no, but that's my point. That's what I'm saying is
Right.
that
I feel you.
yeah, but you play more into, instead of doing the whatever they did before where they were both kind of being tweeners, you just go Willow's face, Monet's heel, full on her being like ratcheted up to 100 heel, and go with it that way and see if you can do something here, because she would be the only one.
Isn't she
But
a
I do
full-on
agree
heel
with
now?
you when it
Isn't
comes
she?
to
Yes, she
Sheeta, and
is.
I love Sheeta. Sheeta is great. What she meant, especially the early part of the women's division in AEW, is something. But I think one of the things is, I think a lot of especially the people that have been there for a long time, or the women, they've all progressed, and I don't think she's progressed. I think she's kind of stayed the same, and so in some ways they've all kind of caught up to her, and so she doesn't look as good now. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, like that.
I got you.
I think that's part of the thing with her. But yeah, it's kind of weird, but
Not pre AEW, Hikaru Shida was one of the best on the planet. I just think women's wrestling in general has come further, and she had, like you said, she just hasn't progressed. That's true.
Right, and that's not like, sometimes that happens. Sometimes, but anyways,
I'm just saying, I just wish that people would just have honest conversations, man. That's all.
people aren't
That's
going to
all.
have we're going to
That's
get
all.
into honest conversations when we talk about the main
Yeah.
event. We're going to have.
Speaking of honesty, Cry Me a River as Jack Perry takes on Bryan Danielson in a match that was way too long, in my opinion.
It was way.
We needed Big Rat for this one. This was his moment.
Yeah.
I had my moment. He needed his platform, man.
But the thing is Perry is better than this. That's the thing, and we all know he's better than this. But I don't know, and you would think Danielson in particular.
Better in this how? You just mean like a better performance?
Yeah, better performance. He's better than, like, this was just like a paint by numbers. What are we doing? Type of match. Yeah, like it was like not like this was your typical like WWE title match in a lot of ways, and you can't do that in AEW. Like we've talked about this before, they have to deliver. It's not fair, but they have to deliver on a bigger thing, and I don't think either of them did it. I'm sure Danielson, in some ways, he was thinking about what was going to come after the match, and he was more focused on that. But this just didn't. Yeah, it was still really good, but it was just not what it needed to be.
I know people don't like hearing this, but it's true. I wish he would work with the same edge that he worked when he was in Japan with the House of Torture. He doesn't work with that edge at all, not even a little bit. He just wrestles like Jack Perry, except a heel. In Japan, he had an edge to him. I couldn't hear you. What you say?
Don't worry about it.
Oh, well, in Japan, he had like an edge to him with everything he did. You know what I mean? And now it's like, I don't know, he's just wrestling like Jack Perry, except that guy Jack Perry. And I don't know why that didn't translate. I don't know why he just didn't keep that edge. I think sans the shenanigans, because you're not, you know what I mean? And then,
I think part of that is him trying to be like in that group with Okada and the Bucks and trying to have that, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, like funny stuff that the character doesn't need, because it needs to be like that you said, the New Japan character, which wasn't that. It was a lot more like hard-edged, not a lot of comedy, even though some of it was kind of funny in a good way.
That angle where they jump, I think was it Shingo or Yoda Tsuji? I can't remember. And like Jack Perry's like just screaming like a madman in his face. I was like, that's what I need, man. That's what I need. But yeah, I don't know why you need the
he's
unhinged, man. Like
you need to be like that he's lost it for whatever reason. So yeah.
So very much a downgrade in Danielson's match from last year's All Out.
Yeah.
It was like all-time classic.
Then we had the angle at the end of the match where we finally had the breakup of the BCC.
The
And
build up to it was great.
yeah,
With Kill Switch coming out and them teasing some type of alliance with Jack
Right.
Perry, and all of a sudden Christian and the Patriot. What is it? What is the name?
patriarchy.
Patriarchy.
Yeah, they came out.
How do
And
y'all
that-
feel about that? The cash in stuff. How y'all feel?
They don't need to do that.
Yeah,
Yeah, I would rather them say, "Hey, you want a chance? Your chance is going to be here." Not this.
Or you
Yeah.
call your shot and you can kind of build up to it versus
Right. Not the WWE.
That's
You
so
need-
WWE, bro.
You need to do it the Lucha Underground way, where you at least have like a week. Like it's not like you just be like, "Hey, I'm getting you next week,"
right.
and you can that sort of thing. But anyways,
All right, okay, I'm gonna be controversial real quick. Y'all know me, I'm screaming
but
fuck WWE all the time.
but
But
it
for
it
Christian,
does work. It does work.
works.
It does
For
work. For
Christian, it works, man. I don't think you can do this with everybody. But for Christian Cage,
But the thing is, if they
100%
hadn't
works,
done
man.
this they've done this in the past using it this way. If they hadn't done that and Christian was doing it this way, it would
come off better. That's true.
come off way better.
That's
but
true.
but because it's always kind of been this way, it doesn't. Yeah.
That's true. That's true.
But you had Claudio being the first, and Claudio and Mox turning on Danielson.
Oh my
I-
god, bro! That look that Danielson gave Claudio
That was
when
great.
he was
And
on the
then-
ground, it was just like
And I know
just such shock. It was so good.
Dan was in here. I know Dan was in here, but I know Dan does not like Yuta. But Yuta's like what everything he did after the turn was so good while he was being held back by Pac was really, really good. And then we
He
had
came across more genuine
yes.
than when Swerve was in the ring looking at his house being burnt down.
Oh
Right.
man.
Oh,
not
man,
the-
yeah.
no,
Yeah, bro,
don't
like,
do that.
He was just
No.
overacting, and it just felt. I don't know.
Oh man.
I did
come
not
on,
like it.
man.
But
I like the
had
angle. I just don't like his
some
reaction.
airline.
I just don't like his reaction. I like Judas a lot better. I thought he
Yeah.
felt very genuine.
I'm curious, I'm curious to see what we'll see. I'm wondering if
Where is this
Garcia
leading to?
signs- like if Garcia signs, does Garcia come this would be a good layer to this story. Garcia signs, right? And then they're like, okay, we're gonna stick you with, and then the story is that Danielson's got to get his crew together, and he goes to Garcia, and then you get friction because Yuta's gonna be mad that he goes because you've still got that thing between him and Garcia, and them really always wanting Garcia and not wanting him, and the whole thing. That would add another layer to this story if you could do that. That I think would be good, because I could see this being a really long feud that goes until next year with Blood and Guts. I could see it being that kind of feud.
Yeah, I'm with it.
So if you did it right, you'd have to do it kind of like they've done with Swerve and Hangman. So, but you had people getting upset because
The bag.
Classic
We were talking
bag.
about the fucking bag.
and I'm going to give credit.
Like, man, PS2.
I'm going to give credit because Sean Ross Sapp, everyone was bitching, and I don't know where he found it. He found a video of the Funk Angle and aired it, and was just like, "Here, shut up! This is not new. This is
that's what Mox was paying homage to.
Right.
He was
Yeah.
want to do that.
Yeah,
I wanna-
but Turner made Funk apologize for that on television.
So
It happened back
mean-
then too.
What-
But that was on TV, right?
What
Yeah,
if
that was on a
It
Clash.
was on pay
That was
per
on a
view.
Clash.
what
That
if
was
they
on
play that
Clash.
up though? What if Mox comes out and Tony Khan says I have to apologize for what happened, and then he does something heelish because he's
Yeah,
a heel now.
or they say
with
that
the
they,
shitty music.
yeah.
You see, he did that to trigger me, man. You know I like that theme. That's why you
Yeah,
did.
that's
the
right.
son
Yeah,
of a
that's
bitch.
right. Theme's all right.
Oh, now it's all right. You was with Chase before.
I was not.
No, it's
Find the
not.
tape.
It's
Where the
not
tape
all
is
right.
at? We don't have
We don't have any
Alright.
tape. We have files.
I love that theme,
Find the tape.
especially especially with now him being a heel. It's
It just
fucking
works, right?
I love that thing. I love that thing, man. It's
I
going
am so
watch.
intrigued.
Hey, watch.
It's gonna grow on
3
me.
weeks from now, Chase is gonna be like, okay, it's kind of awesome. I probably
Yeah.
watch.
I didn't like it when I
5
first heard it. I didn't
years.
love it when I first heard
It's
it, but yeah, I
been
love it now.
5 years of this shit.
Yeah, but he's a different character now. He's not the
Right.
same character that he was before.
You can come out the wild thing.
Come on, man.
This angle was great, bro. I'm so excited to
This
see
angle's
what this
fantastic.
next, what's going to happen next. On Dynamite.
I agree. I think
they should open the show with Mox. That's what I think. But
I would agree, but they'll probably wait till the main event, which is whatever. But and then we got the lights out match, the match that I do think we're gonna see like the lights out stipulation actually be used more this time, because Hangman's probably gonna be like, hey, I won, I beat him, I want my shot, and they're gonna be like, the match didn't count. Even if
it's a shot before him or something.
I mean, Swerve's supposed to be not around for a while, but yeah, like that you beat him, good for you, but it doesn't matter. And because other than that, he hasn't really won anything, right? Like that, one of the things is that he's like still not won anything.
Been a crazy obsessive about
right.
this.
And I think that's going to be like the next part of this. But the match, I'm going to say, because I have not talked about this match, even on the Discord. There were unsettling parts, but I hated the house getting burned down thing. That was so.
You hated
stupid.
that?
I did not like that.
Oh, he's not alone, Chase. He's not alone, man.
I did not like that. I didn't like
the
the
setup
house
of it. I didn't love, but the angle was kind of cool.
Just like I didn't like the house invasion stuff. I don't need that
photo of Hangman sitting in front of the house is like an iconic wrestling photo now.
Yeah, like
that's gonna be everywhere. You're gonna see that all the time.
But I did that, to me was a little too much. That said, with everything that's happened, this is how you had to do this. This is how you had like this is not, you can't go out there and like be Randy Orton, and we'll talk about Randy Orton, and go out there and do a Randy Orton match. You can't do a Randy Orton special. This has got to be an Onita Terry Funk special. This has got to be people doing stupid shit, doing crazy shit, doing stuff you'll probably never see again, right? All of those things. And here's my thing about this match. Everyone complained about it was too violent, it was too this, it was too that. Hey, the chair shot was what the chair shot was. We all know about the chair shots. You want to complain about that? Fine. I'm not going to argue with you. That being said, for people to be like screaming and complaining about, I had to have my kids leave the room. Oh, I had to have this. Oh, I had to have this. This is way over the top.
Good.
Here's my thing. Where were you when we had the only real wrestling that was going on, and they were humiliating women? They were making them doing stupid, just nasty things on, treating them simply as objects. I got news for you. Go actually take a psychology course and see what affects people more. Violence or like really graphic porn, really like demoralizing women, all of those things. See what's worse. None of you want to talk about this. None of you want to talk about the fact that there are still people in that company that were part of all this, and none of you want to talk about it. None of you want to connect the dots. I get that, we've talked about this forever and ever and ever.
Turn this shit up to 1,000. Go ahead, Josh.
But we're going to talk about this because, they used a plastic bag. But you want your stories, you want your drama, you want it to be like a TV show where even on regular TV shows, they do the plastic bag thing. WWE has done the rag with what do you put on the rag to knock people out? Anyways, chloroform. Chloroform. They've done that. They've done all sorts of crazy shit like this, and none of you will complain about it. People forget WWE crucified somebody on television.
Everything the Undertaker did in the 90s, for the most part, towards the ministry stuff. I mean, people shit on that at the time too,
right?
But not like, I'm concerned and all that. No, it was like this is terrible instead of
Like the only time that we've seen a crucifying angle that where people were concerned was in ECW, and that was a little different. That was a little bit more like that was a little bit that was a little different.
Upset Kurt Angle.
Yeah, well,
I can't even blame him though. I can't.
But
that shit was wild.
We're worried about that, and we have people that are like, oh my god, I can't even watch AEW now, even though this happened on a pay-per-view. And here's the thing, they're like, oh, this happens way too much in AEW. Really? It happens like maybe once a year they do this. Maybe once a year they go into the truly like ultra like truly
violent. Like people bleed, but not like this.
This
was different.
Like what did you have? You had the exploding barbed wire match. You had the Jericho Nick Gage match, right?
Oh yeah,
you had you had the
two Texas death matches last year,
right? I don't know. Can you even get to 10 matches that would be at this that
like a true death match?
Right.
Yeah.
They don't do it that often. Most of the time, it has been on pay-per-view when they do it, and it's been in feuds where it makes sense that they do it. Unlike WWE, which will just throw out a random hardcore match, and AEW does this too, and they shouldn't do it as well. But we'll throw out a random hardcore match to start off the feud because they've told you that this is Looney Tunes, Roadrunner, and Wile E. Coyote stuff, and not actually, hey, these types of matches should be used to end a feud. Compare that thing, whatever it was that CM Punk and Drew McIntyre did with that strap match, with just the strap match that Bryan Danielson and Starks did.
And that wasn't even Danielson's feud. Don't forget that wasn't his feud. That was supposed to be that fuckwad that got fired. That had that fucking strap match with fucking Drew McIntyre.
Let alone both dog collar matches, right? Right? Like the dog collar matches we've gotten, the other strap match that we got in AEW, like it's completely like you said it. Like you didn't say it when you went on your rant about WWE, but in a lot of ways they won, and people need to realize that they won, and that you're going to have to. This is what irks me about all the content creators, all of these people that are supposed to be smart and that are supposed to have all of these opinions. They at no point will say, hey, maybe what WWE does isn't great. Maybe we do need something better. Maybe there is better ways to tell these stories, and we shouldn't shit on AEW because they don't do this, and we should actually call out the people that are doing all of this stuff in bad faith. Right?
Why do they want it all to look? I just don't understand why they want it all to look the same.
Because
that's what they're comfortable with. That's what they grew up with. That's what they're comfortable with, man.
Yeah, it's so annoying though, man. Like I listen to a lot of music. I don't want everybody to rap like Killer Mike. I don't want everybody to rap like Kendrick Lamar. You know what I mean? That's not what I want. Sometimes I like ignorant shit. Throw in a little bit of Kodak Black. That's fine. Like sometimes I like some, you know what I mean? It's fucking music sounds different. Movies are different. I don't watch every fucking action movie expecting kung fu. I don't. Sometimes I want to see Iron Man shoot someone in the face with a laser. You know what I'm saying? Like, why can't things just be different, man?
Like,
God damn it.
It's not what they were taught. That's the main thing. Like, for years of watching McMahon TV, this is not what they were taught.
And they were told that was the only way to do it. That was the best way to do it because the
marketing worked, man.
Because there was no one else around to do something different.
And when everyone was screaming, saying this isn't exactly right, what you had all of these people screaming, going, those people don't know what they're talking about. Oh, those people just don't like WWE. Oh, this, that, and the other. It is, it's like an action movie, right? I don't need everything to be either like a Michael Bay action movie. These people want every action movie to be a Michael Bay action movie and not have even a little bit of like something different in it, because they don't know how to handle that. They don't know, like, it's why when you watch WWE, they react to everything that's around the wrestling, but not the wrestling itself.
The fluff,
the fluff, because that's what they've been told.
I can get really toxic on here, but I won't do it. I'll just say this, and Brandon will appreciate it. People that look like me think I am weird because I don't like that shit. Like wrestling fans that look like me think I'm an oddball because I don't like that shit. I like that.
Black folks shit. Love the WWE.
They love the WWE, man, and I don't fucking get it.
I got two friends who absolutely love it, and they don't understand why I don't like
love you. They don't love you at all. Look how they treat Bianca Belair, Jade Cargill's fucking babysitter. They don't care about you. They don't care about you.
How is it? I will say this. How is it that the black wrestlers are being treated worse now than under Vince?
Exactly.
Than when Vince was there. And Vince ain't exactly known for his, he
loves Martin Luther King.
He loves Martin Luther King. He does love Martin Luther King. I can't say that about the guy running the thing now, because there's a history there that people don't want to talk about. Even
these motherfuckers will talk about how Tony Khan treats black wrestlers, but Swerve Strickland just had a very fruitful title reign that has built this man to a point where he is one of the top stars in the company.
Not only one of the top stars, but one of the top paid people in the industry.
One of the top paid people in the company.
And WWE threw a hissy fit about it.
And then you same bitch ass niggas will put a dashiki on Cody Rhodes like this shit is funny. Like, that's funny.
Come to the cookout, Cody. Come to the cookout. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. I can't stand it. God.
Cody feeds into that shit on NXT.
Idiots.
Look, nothing against Cody. It's these fucking fans that do this.
Right.
And I don't understand it. I don't understand it, man. I don't get it. What does the WWE owe you? What do they owe you? They don't owe you anything. Criticize them like you criticize it, and then it's support black wrestlers, right? I'm gonna do it tonight. Support, but we done went all over the place. I don't even give a fuck. Support black wrestlers, right? But it's only black wrestlers in the WWE. They never said anything about Chris Bay, about Kevin Knight, about Swerve Strickland, about Keith Lee after you left, about fucking Shane Taylor. Remember when Shane Taylor Promotions was fucking big in Ring of Honor? I ain't hear none of these niggas say nothing about him. You know what I mean? But because it's the WWE, they give Bianca Belair and fucking Jade Cargill a 5-minute match where they do the same shit, and y'all act like fucking Martin Luther King had the fucking I had a dream speech because of that shit. Who cares? They don't even take Jade Cargill that seriously. They sign Jade Cargill and they give her all this pomp and circumstance and all this shit, but they don't even trust her to actually wrestle. We have bitches like Chelsea Green going out there and having matches. All these horrible fucking women on NXT that don't know what they're doing, but you won't let Jade Cargill, who's not great, but better than these women, you know what I mean? But you want to tell me about the progress in the WWE. For some reason, these motherfuckers get a pass all the time. When we just had a black world champion in AEW. What the fuck is wrong with y'all? I thought y'all wanted progress. Look at how Athena is treated. Look at how Tony Khan treats Athena. Yes, she's on Ring of Honor, but she's taken more seriously than Bianca Belair as the babysitter of Jade Cargill. Like, what are we doing, man? What are we doing? Be consistent. Be consistent. That's all I want any of y'all to do.
Where was all of the people saying, why is AC Mack not signed somewhere 3 years ago?
How many of y'all even know who the fuck that is?
I was gonna say. Seriously. You're talking foreign to them on this one.
I'm just saying, but he's probably like the guy, like he's the one guy out of all of
Trisha Dora, Maya World. We could do this for a while, man. They don't actually care. They only care if they're in the WWE. That's the only time they care. That's the only time they care. I could really go in on this and really be mean and just completely alienate myself from that whole fucking I'm not gonna do that because some people do good work in that side of fucking. But nah, man. Like I can't rock with it, man. I can't rock with it. Y'all not fair, man. Y'all not fair at all. And then pretending like you care about people because the WWE signs them, like Julia. Like what is this, man? She up here coming out with spooky music, missing knee strikes to the face, and y'all act like this shit is cool.
That was overblown. That was
Julia,
overblown.
man.
That was overblown. That knee strike. But I still found it funny.
Like y'all know nothing about this girl, man. Nothing at all. Because if you did, you wouldn't be excited about whatever the hell this is. That's her presentation. That's not fucking Julia. Who the fuck is that?
Hey man, we see the true colors when it comes to Ethan Page, when it comes to Brian Pillman Jr. Eventually,
you want to tell me Tony
Hikaleo's going to show up, and they're going to
Lexus King. But really, that's what you want to tell me? Lexus King, and then we gonna act like Hikaleo is a big. Yeah, you're right, Brandon. We got like Hikaleo is a big deal when he come bringing this tall, sorry ass out there. We really gonna do that? Come on, man.
Well,
Tonga.
Can't talk, can't wrestle. What the fuck, man?
What are these? Okay, think about this. And I think this is gonna like.
We got still got more AEW stuff to talk about, by the way. But go ahead.
I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry.
That's okay. But this is because I have. Well, you guys can talk about this match. No, you and Chase.
No, yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was a crazy spectacle that I couldn't take my eyes off of. I think I'll rewatch it in like a year and appreciate it more, like I did with Brandon and I did with Moxley and Omega when they had their crazy violent match.
Yeah.
God, this what quaint times! What quaint times!
This one, I would say I enjoyed more in the moment than that one. I can't say I enjoyed it more than the Texas Death Match they had last year, but for what this feud needed, like this match was so important to happen, and I really enjoyed like the post match with like Hangman like kind of being conflicted with himself, and she should go and take out Swerve even more or kind of stay. But I don't know, I enjoyed all of that. Yeah, that was definitely like this is one of those matches where I couldn't take my eye off of it, but I still cringed at points. So just like, are they really doing this stuff with like the cinder block?
Cinder block, shoot cinder block.
God, like even worse than the AIDS needle, which is crazy. But even worse than that cinder block spot, both of them honestly were just like, bro. But you have to do something bigger than what they did last time.
Yeah, that cop killer on the fucking cinder block, man, that was I don't know exactly what they were going for, but I feel like that wasn't it. You know what I mean? Because did you see Hangman's back? That was disgusting, man. That was, to me, that was the sickest thing in the whole match. I don't know how to feel about this thing. I can't really call it a match. I think it was more of an extended segment.
Yeah, spectacle, honestly.
Because, man, like I've seen some people call this the match of the year, right? I've seen some people say that, and I get it. I get it. I get it. But
if that's your cup of tea.
Yeah, like if that's your thing, I get it. But I can never watch that again. Because it got to the point where I know Josh said, he didn't like the burning down the house angle, but the most like barbaric thing in the whole match was Hangman pulling out the fucking burnt piece of wood and them trying to just stab each other with it. I was like, what am I looking at right now? And the whole crowd is like, you can see like a guy in the background just nervous as hell, like this with his hands over his face, like not knowing what the hell is what. Like it felt like legit, like two dudes just started fighting each other. Like it was. You know what this was? This was not what I think a lot of people think of like death matches. This is because this is not like American death matches where they just go in and they just do crazy shit for no reason. This is more like a Big Japan death match or like a DDT death match where there's actually a story behind it and they add in like all the little things. Yeah. Which, I mean, this is a promotion full of wrestling nerds who have seen all of that crazy shit. So, with that said, there's still crazy shit we haven't seen in AEW. If you think this is the crazy shit, there is still crazy. We've not seen people flying through like there's still crazier shit that fly. Yeah, we've only scratched the surface of like how wild pro wrestling can actually be.
Yeah, that's what it should be. Just be so completely as different from WWE as possible. So I appreciate a pay-per-view like this.
So I have a question. So apparently Tony Khan hinted at, I think it was Rampage, right? Where the video came from, where he hinted about the TV deal. And everyone was like, okay, when are we going to get the TV deal? And then it was kind of hinted by Dave Meltzer that, well, they're not going to announce the TV deal yet because possibly part of the TV deal is not done, which has nothing to do with
WBD.
Yep, and has everything to do with maybe Fox, which made now, which would, and that was kind of where I wanted to go with, like, when Marquine was going on his rant, this last rant. What are
this last rant? I read
this
that
last
much.
rant? This last rant. Here's my thing. I think if they sign a deal, and I think it'll be with like FS1, I think it'll be, or FX or something. It's not going to be with Fox. If they somehow get a show on Fox proper,
That's sick.
That's sick. I would be like, okay, what the that I want to hear people defend, because since probably a month into the Fox deal, when, and even before that, everyone was like, everyone felt like Fox overpaid for WWE, because people that actually follow this shit and actually understand this shit were like, there's no way they're going to get their ad revenue back. Pretty much that's what Fox has said, that they just could not get their ad revenue back with WWE, which is why they were like, we're not going to even try to bid on you.
Sign them.
Yeah, because like, this is the thing that people don't get. Those new TV deals were not the TV deals that everyone thought they were going to get. They were less than what those TV deals were, than what a lot of, they look good until you start digging into them, and then it's like, oh wait, these aren't.
The Netflix deal kills all their international. It's all on Netflix now.
Yeah, like, and they didn't get paid a lot for it either, and so, and don't get me wrong, it's still a shit ton of money. It's not like they're gonna die. It's nothing like that. It's just, let's talk about what it actually is, and the thing with this is and props to Joe and Rich from Voice of Wrestling, because they've been talking about this since pretty much it was evident that Fox had buyer's remorse. About
Fox wanting AEW instead?
Wanting AEW because you could get it cheaper.
Way cheaper. And the thing has always been, like, that Dave Meltzer has talked about this, Dave Bickenstein has talked about this, other people talked about this, that the ad revenue for AEW, for what AEW is, looks to be really good and not what traditional wrestling normally is. A lot of people get mad when they hear that, because it sounds like, you're saying WWE fans are poor and AEW fans aren't, and or this, that, and the other. It is what it is. I mean, it's just like, we're going to get, and I don't want to talk politics, but just understand that for the next 3 months, all we're going to hear about is voters that are white voters who did not go to college and white voters that went to college. We're going to hear that for the next 3 months. That's just how it's going to be.
That's how it is every election year. You're right about that.
Like, that's one of the things they hit home. Forget context, forget anything else that goes within that. But it's the same type of thing that's going to get talked about. And these ad companies, what they try to do is try to do these sorts of things. And, they want to go where the money is. And if you can get more bang for your buck with the other brand, you go with it. Like I said, I don't think they're going to be on Fox proper. I don't think anyone thinks that. Most people think they're going to be on FS1 with whatever that new show that they trademark is going to be. Yeah. And whatever that's going to be. But what do you guys think about that? What do you guys think about?
I would hope that Rampage or Collision goes away, because if they have 4 fucking TV shows, there will now be 3 TV shows I ignore and just watch Dynamite instead of just 2.
Damn, you ignoring Collision?
Yeah, you ignore Collision now? Yeah, that's fucked up.
I ignor Collision.
Wow.
Okay.
No, I'm the same way.
Damn.
Unless someone tells me something's really good on Collision, I don't really watch it either.
There's usually 1 or 2 things on Collision that's pretty good.
Rampage is 40 minutes. Just put it on to watch it. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, I think they could put better things.
I'd never watch Rampage though.
I think they could do. I think they could put better things on that. So
I don't know. I want to see what this TV deal is going to be. I'm bracing myself. I fully expect Dynamite to have 3 hours. Honestly, it just makes sense.
But see, the thing is, if they have 3 hours, that tells me that Rampage is.
Yeah. That's what I might think. And you might even still call that 3rd hour Rampage. So that way you can keep your Dynamite rating, and then you would artificially boost the Rampage rating because you're going to get a better rating for Rampage coming out to Dynamite than it's going to be at 10 o'clock on a Friday. Yeah, so I really think that they're going to do that. And again, I think they will front load the Dynamite show. Like, this is the main thing, and then you sickos, this last hour's for you. We got some stuff on here.
Here, since SmackDown will air on Netflix, you
Raw
or Raw?
Yeah, you said SmackDown.
Oh yeah, SmackDown's going to be on.
USA.
Did Raw being 2 hours with the new USA deal? Did that happen last time? Because that's a thing.
Yeah, no, we just found out about it. We thought maybe
what's happening?
It's just for the rest of the year.
Raw's moving it back to 2 hours
for the rest of the year.
For the rest of the year, and we don't know about.
Just do this. They should just do that.
They're going to be 3 hours of Netflix. Why would Netflix pay for? They pay for 3 hours of content. Like, it doesn't make sense to pay for 2 hours.
True. But no, I was just wondering, do you? Because here's the thing. Rampage, where Rampage is, Rampage still does really, really well. So I'm wondering if, like, you get that through but maybe it winds up being, maybe you move.
Or maybe you put that's the Ring of Honor show. Like
I was just about to say that. Where's Ring of Honor fit in all this, man?
Because he's talked about it. He's talked that there'll be like a Ring of Honor show with the AEW.
True TV Sports is about to be there. Yeah. So if you want to put it on that channel instead,
right?
So instead move Rampage behind Dynamite. Yeah,
we'll see. Okay, so
watching it again.
Last thing I want to talk about. Has everybody here seen that Gunther and Orton match? We won't.
Yeah, man, because I knew we were going to talk about this. So yeah, I watched it.
I did not watch it.
What was it? A Randy Orton match?
It was a Randy Orton match, and then
everybody surprised. Is anyone surprised?
No, but you got fools.
This man has under-delivered his entire
saying this was a great match. This match, like, I'm low on it. I will say I'm low on it. I thought this was just above good.
Is there any fools that you wouldn't expect to say something that Randy Orton?
It's people I respect saying this match is great, man.
Name him. Who? Give me one name. Brian Alvarez,
man. I don't respect him anymore, sir. So I don't know. Dave said it was great,
but Dave overrates any Randy Orton match because Dave can't get out of his head that Randy Orton is wrestles from a different era, and it's not okay.
Yeah, my boy Scott E Wrestling. I was so upset when I saw that. That's my plug to Stardom. When I'm behind on Stardom, I read his tweets, I read his posts, I read his blogs, and he said this match was one of the best American matches he saw all year. I was like, Scott, no,
who said this?
No,
who said this?
He covers like Stardom and shit. I was so upset. Guy. I was like, no, not you of all people.
People say, and I get that.
What is the argument that it's a great match?
Because Randy Orton is a very talented worker. Because he is. The motherfucker sells well. Everything he does looks great. The motherfucker understands how to work the story that he's trying to tell. The problem is, it's the same fucking story every time. I'm going to put you in a headlock. I'm going to hold you on the ground, and I'm going to make Gunther, of all people, fight from underneath. Who the fuck wants to see Gunther struggle in a headlock for 35 Who wants that? No, don't. I know
Randy Orton wants that because he doesn't want to take those chops. He doesn't want to take those chops.
Then there's a better way to do this. Just avoid the chops. Make the whole story of the match you trying to avoid this man's chops. That's it. Don't hold him on the ground and make Gunther sail for fucking 34. What is this? This is Gunther. This is Walter. This is the most dangerous final boss maybe in pro wrestling history. And you have the wherewithal to make this dude sell for you? That's what you think we want to see. No, fuck Randy Orton, man. There was a time when I was like, this dude.
We were all like that. We were all like that.
I was like, this dude has like so much potential to be great. He's very explosive. He understands the mannerisms of pro wrestling, but I think he's so disconnected from what pro wrestling should look like because he's been indoctrinated in the system. He's like a fucking Nazi that grew up around Nazis because this motherfucker don't know what this shit is supposed to look like. He has no idea, man.
But here's the thing. He probably walked backstage, and you know who was sitting back there and said that was a great match. You had that was.
Oh, you know this long-nosed son of a bitch was like,
damn,
great job. Great way to work him, Randy. Great way to work him. And then you know what's wild? This crowd that had been wild the whole night during all these matches, they were quiet until like the last like fucking minute of that match.
Because that's not what they wanted.
They wanted to see Gunther chop this motherfucker. That's what they wanted.
They wanted a 10-minute. They wanted a 10-minute Gunther match. That's what they wanted, and they did not give that to them. But you had to. But you know what? You had to do this long ass boring match.
5 minutes. You just have a 5-minute match where you bang with. Don't bang with them for that long. Just give them 5 minutes that they can remember instead of whatever the fuck that was you did.
Like, but here's the thing: they've got to do these long ass matches because they don't have enough fucking stuff on the show so that you can do this. Like if this had been a 7-match show, they could have done, a 10-minute sprint brawl, which I'm sure Randy Orton can still do. I know he probably doesn't want to do it, but he can probably still do it. It's the easiest,
That's it. That's all they wanted,
but
man.
when you have 4 or 5, how many matches did this show have? 5?
Oh, I have no idea. I just watched
4,
that.
I think 4 or 5. You can't do that. You've got to give them a main event that's 30 fucking minutes, and they do this every pay-per-view and every fucking one that we watch. The main events come off because they feel like they got to do these long ass matches that they don't need to do.
34-28.
What annoys me?
Dave gave it 4.5.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah, man. Like what annoys me the most is that the defense that these people always use for these fucking weird WWE defenders, what they would always use, and yes, like I said, anti-WWE, cut shit off now. We've been doing it all show. Fuck you. But the weird defense that they use is that the crowd is into it. Well, the crowd wasn't into this. So where's all this praise coming from?
They're into the promos. They're into the entrance music. They're into
that bullshit.
Yeah, they're into all of their catchphrases. They're into the crowd spots, right? Because that's what
the stuff that where they can play along to. They're into
right.
And there's nothing wrong with that in wrestling, but
nothing wrong.
That seems like that's all that they like.
Yes.
When the bell rings, it's like
who cares? And if that's the case, if that's your fan base,
then we're not. This isn't wrestling anymore.
Here's the thing.
It's not wrestling
if that's
anymore.
the case, if that's what the fans are that disconnected and they only want the other things, matches only need to go 10-15 minutes tops. That's it. That's because any longer than that,
because you're wasting time. All that other stuff, you're wasting time.
Right. Yeah. Play to your audience. None of us would complain about that. If you did like 10, go back and watch fucking Hulk Hogan prime WWE. You got longer than like a 15-minute match. That was something. That was like something. A lot of matches were like 10, less than 10 minutes, because it was about everything else. Fine, go back to that. No one would complain. Everyone was like, the wrestling sucks, but the show itself was fun. But because of the way you have this set up, you have all of this good energy, all of these good vibes in that building, which every one of us have always said is there. There's no question about it. If you don't think it's there, you're not watching the fucking show. The problem is they then have to put on these long, even like the mid-card matches have to go longer than what they need to go.
Shit, man. I don't
because
know
they're not putting enough stuff on the card to okay. We're going to do a lot of short matches. So we put 10 matches on the card, but none of them are going to go very long. You can do that, and it's fine. And people might complain about it a little bit, about the matches weren't very long, but you wouldn't get this problem that people have with these shows where they feel like they're a trudge to get through. So, that would be my take on that.
Random
play to your crowd.
Something popped in my head, but I just want to say it on camera before I forget. Remember how we were talking earlier about Bianca Belair being Jade Cargill's babysitter?
You were saying that, not we.
What I mean, she is, but throwing that out there, look how they also treated Naomi since she came back. Just saying.
Is she doing anything?
She got awesome.
But granted, should they be doing something with her?
No, that's not the point.
Should they be doing something with her?
That's not the point I'm making. That's not the point I'm making.
It's not like
her new theme music's better than Moxley's.
They're waiting for the girl that she had their feud with in TNA to come over and then push her to the side.
And then push her to the side.
Yes.
Push her to the side like they do all of us.
Are people seeing what they about to do with TNA? Like that stuff that came out with Rev Pro, the guy was Andy, what's his name? Andy, I forgot. The owner of Rev Pro, where he was like, they wanted to do a deal with Rev Pro, but at the end of the deal, they had the option to buy the company. So it was like, what did TNA sign up for?
What, the WWE? Yeah. Seriously?
Yeah, he was like, they signed up some deal to be able to buy at the end of the deal, and the guy was like, "What do you mean, buy the library, buy the matches?" He was like, "No, buy the company." And he was like, "No, we don't want to do that." So now it's like, what did TNA sign up for? Like,
but this is the company that's bridging the gap, right? Everybody, Triple H loves everybody. He cares more about pro wrestling. He mentioned the fact that Tama Tonga led the Bullet Club. When did he do that, by the way? He meant, you know what I mean? He's mentioning other wrestling. He said Naomichi Marufuji's name on fucking TV, like whatever, Michael Cole. But they love pro wrestling now, but they're trying to buy the biggest fucking pro wrestling company in Great Britain. Say what you want about Tony Khan. Say what you want about his relationship with New Japan Pro Wrestling, but Tony Khan has never opened his mouth to say, I want to buy New Japan Pro Wrestling, because that's fucking destructive. Could you imagine if that was Tony Khan's MO, working with all these companies to buy them? To raise them is one thing. Okay, cool. I might give you that. But to buy them, different discussion, man. If they bought Rev Pro, that is it for Brit Refs. You like Luke Jacobs? You think they're gonna use Luke Jacobs? You like Michael Oku? Good thing that fucking Tony Khan got him before that shit might happen. You know what I mean? Could you imagine that him in the WWE? Do you like Leon Slater? I bet you do. You won't see much of him. You know what I'm saying? Hey, do you like Alex Windsor? You like Miss Will Ospreay? Guess what? Guess what? Get the fuck out of here, man.
Here's the thing, though. Look at it this way. You're now starting to see
all this for Joe Hendry.
Yeah.
And all this for Joe Hendry and Jordan Grace. I love Jordan Grace, bro.
And maybe what's his name? Josh Alexander. Maybe
Josh
Alexander.
That would make me so fucking sad, man. That would make me so sad. Go anywhere else. They will treat you like garbage. Go anywhere else. I don't care. Literally anywhere else.
Here's the thing. Look at all of the people who are now,
and I hope he's listening,
somewhat adjacent.
We talked a little bit after he met my lady. He'll randomly DM me and ask about my lady. He's a cool guy. If you happen to watch this, Josh, don't do it. Don't do it.
Here's the thing.
The off chance that you do.
Look at all of the people who are adjacent to TNA who have now said maybe the deal isn't as great as everyone thought it was going to be.
Giselle Shaw out the door. She got the fuck out of there.
Oh, yeah, that's interesting.
She got the fuck out of there. I wonder why.
And even
I'm excited for Maple Leaf, by the way.
Yeah. Well, even
I have my I don't know, man. Scott D'Amore.
We'll see.
I'm excited to see. Just to see.
Anyways, even D'Amore now has kind of walked back a lot of the comments. Now there might be other reasons for this when it comes to that he made about AEW.
Yeah, right.
But he has been like, hey, this was maybe not as bad as everyone said it was, and maybe I just was, being a little whatever. And I'm like, dude, we all know where you're going. Don't even You know, as soon as your non-compete.
No, I mean, if he felt threatened and got emotional, man, I'll give him a pass. Like, I get it, man. I get it.
But at the same time, I will say that, like, I think that's interesting that now we're starting to see people, you know, say, hey, this isn't so great. Hey, this is, you know, and just, again, look at the people they're using that WWE is using versus the people they're not using, right? Like, why
look at
as far as what, TNA or
as far as TNA,
and then versus who they send over there,
right?
Yeah,
and like
ABC has trying to been getting themselves booked on NXT since all this shit started, and you ain't seen neither one of them. Neither one of them, man.
If you're so in tune with the wrestling world and you're in it and you're doing NXT, why would you not do Mike Bailey versus Dragunov?
Well, I mean, Dragunov's on Raw now,
but still, you can.
Why would you not do Josh Alexander versus Ethan Page? We didn't even got to get hard here. The history is there. Why would you? I
think they're doing that though. I think eventually they're going to do that. I think eventually that's going to be their. Oh, see, we're doing this, and it's going to be like, yeah, but you could have. I don't need to see that match again because every time we've seen it, it's under-delivered. So
because Ethan Page is Ethan Page,
right? And I like Ethan Page. Ethan Page. I do. I like Ethan Page, but he's not under-delivered. He's not. I mean, he's not horrible. I said I like him. I didn't say that it's like as soon as his matches start, I'm like, eh.
But all of this, man, all of this is just a sign to people they like, and then eventually buy TNA to kill it. That
would be sick, man. That would be so sick if they did.
And if
sick, not a good way. Not in a good way.
People say that we over criticize the WWE in that way. They don't just. I've seen that. Like people go, they don't look at people say they were out to kill this place, and this place. Every single place they've ever worked with has not been the same since they worked with them. Every single place.
This is the same people who. Go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off. Sorry.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I would say these are the same people who have criticized Tony about signing Okada and Jay White and Will Ospreay, guys who were going to leave regardless because New Japan ain't paying no money. They were going to leave regardless, and they're going to criticize Tony Khan about them signing or him signing them, and then potentially hurting New Japan, but them completely shutting down TNA, which is not out of the realm of possibility. It could happen. They would have nothing to say about that because they got Joe Hendry over there.
Meanwhile, Tony Khan gave them John Moxley to pop some houses and also gave them Konosuke Takeshita during the entire G1 climax. And Takeshita lost to every important member of that roster.
Not only that, even the better thing, if you want to, who's getting the better end of the deal in the CMLL deal?
Exactly.
Well,
Tony Khan don't get none of the cool shit. He don't get none of the cool shit.
Go look at that anniversary card. Go look at that anniversary card.
Look at the anniversary card. Chris Jericho is about to lose to Mystico. Probably very convincingly. You know what I mean? In Mexico.
Well, it's 2 out of 3 falls, so he'll get one.
Will he? I'm not even so sure. I'm not sure.
He'll get one.
Why? Would you be shocked if he got swept though? Because I would not. Would you be shocked?
Maybe a little bit.
Wouldn't be shocked.
But
I'm just gonna go 1-1-1.
Maybe, but yeah, man. Fuck the WWE. Fuck Triple H. Fuck what they do. Fuck those fans. Fuck how it looks. Fuck those shows. Fuck the TV, the way it's presented. Fuck it all. Fuck the TV deals.
Hey man, they're about to heat back up. They're about to heat back up.
I don't give a shit.
Dwayne Johnson's coming in. You got Netflix. You got John Cena retirement tour.
They could say fuck on TV.
They're not going to say that. Why do people keep thinking that they're going to just change everything because they're going on Netflix? They're not going to do that. They're still going to be. You still have ratings. You still have to be TV PG, TV 14, TVMA when you're on Netflix.
You still have all of those reasons that they don't do this stuff as far as like the corporate sponsors and stuff. Dang.
Yeah. I don't know why people think that.
And look,
you might have a little bit more leeway to not be bleeped when you say shit and stuff like that, but they're not going to be throwing that around like crazy.
and anybody can like what they like. I'm not here to pay the cool police and like whatever you like. But stop calling me weird when you like a grown man using the word yeet from the year 2014. Stop calling me weird when a lady calls herself mommy and dirty dom and all this other dumb shit that they do. Stop calling me weird when you have two 40-year-old men fighting over a bracelet. Stop calling me weird because you're fucking weird.
The mommy stuff is way more over than people want to.
Of course, it's over. This is just horny people watching the show.
I know.
But we're weird because we watch Hangman Page fucking inject Swerve Strickland in the jaw. We're weird because we like that. But you like this weird fucking love triangle with just that started with sexual assault. But we're weird. All right, you got it. We're weird that we like seeing people that are fighting be violent with each other. We're weird. We're the weird ones, guys.
You want to hear
We're the oddballs because they won. Because they fucking won, man.
You want to hear something? You started off with the Capcom reference on like the difference. You know what WWE is? WWE is if when everything went really bad.
He about to make some obscure reference.
No. This is not obscure. This is not obscure. When fighting games got really bad, that the lone survivor was Mortal Kombat. That's
the WWE.
Chase.
That's the perfect go home right there. That was perfect. We should go home right on that.
Because that's exactly what it is.
These two nerds.
Well,
that was perfect.
We'll see y'all in
2 weeks. Excuse me?